Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Zach, and today's video is going to be all about my first experience with a camera stabilizer. So basically, stabilizers help smoothen out your shots and also take out any unwanted shakiness in your videos. So there are two types of stabilizers, gimbals and steadicams. The one I have is a steadicam, and I will be making a separate video comparing those two. So what I have here is the 𝗬𝗲𝗋𝗃 carbon fiber stabilizer. It was $75 on Amazon, and yeah, that stabilizer arrived a week later, and here we are. So the main reason why I decided to buy this stabilizer is because I wanted to increase the production value of my videos, and I'm starting to take video production a bit more seriously this year, and I'm also part of a production team in a digital marketing agency. So as you obviously know, I do need to up my production value, especially when I'm working with a company. And yeah, if you do decide to buy this, I'll have links in the description below. What you're gonna get in the box is basically the actual stabilizer itself. There's no assembly required. The stabilizer comes as it is. It's like a plug and play, if you will. It'll also come with a little carrying case, which I think is not that helpful. It's not that rigid and stuff, but I guess it's fine because I put it in the box anyways. So basically what I have here is a steadicam. Now steadicams are pretty reliable, mainly because there's no batteries required. It's all basically mechanical. So after you took everything out of the box, what you will see is the gimbal plus the weights. Okay, so just a quick note guys, I am using my Sony a6300 to shoot this video, and I'm also using the GoPro, as you can tell, whenever I switch between shots. Okay, so let's get to it. So the camera I have here is my dad's. This is a very old camera. This was like 10 years ago he bought. It's a Sony XTI. So the first thing you're going to notice is there's going to be a detachable top plate on the stabilizer. So take that out and you will see two screws, and those screws have two different sizes. I think it depends on what type of camera you're using, but for my Canon camera and that Sony as well, I use the smaller screw notch. Make sure you screw it onto your camera tightly, but not too tight. You don't want to break the threads inside the camera as well as the actual screw. And when you're placing it at the bottom of your camera, I usually put it in the middle where it doesn't interfere when I'm switching over the lens. So once you do have it tightly attached to your camera, play around with it a little bit, try to like feel the balance and stuff like that. So there are three ways to adjust the balance of this camera. The first one is at the bottom with the two pairs of weights on either sides. Okay, the second part of how to balance the plates is on the top. The top plate could also move forward and backward, and you could also adjust it side to side, also on the top area of the plate, and those are only for very precise changes. Oh, and I also forgot to mention to you guys that you can also extend the length of the stabilizer. However, I always keep it the way it is because since my camera is not that heavy. Okay, so once you have your camera attached to the stabilizer, what I like to do first is to work on the front and back balancing of the camera. When I try to balance it, I always try to lift the camera up from a stable position. So let's say from a table, I always lift it up from the table and see where it goes. And if I see it going forward, I'll adjust the weights at the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is move the front plates backwards so that the camera doesn't go forward as much. I could do that, or either move the back plates a bit more backward. Now do note guys, if the camera still moves a bit forward and a bit backward, don't worry about that. You don't have to adjust the bottom plates. That type of balancing will come at the top area of the camera where you precisely balance it from forward to back. And if you lift it up and you see that the camera is more balanced than before, then it's time to leave the bottom weights alone and just to work on the minute adjustments using the top plates. And those are only for like very small adjustments to make it perfectly balanced. And yeah, once the camera is balanced, then you're all set. Basically what you want to do now is to practice using the steadicam, because this does take a bit of a learning curve, you know, especially how to maneuver it around. The more you practice, the more you get better at it. So what I'm gonna do now is to switch out the Canon camera with my Sony camera so that I could start recording video and show you guys a comparison of a handheld shot versus a steadicam shot. And as you can see guys, once you have the camera all balanced out, it looks super nice, especially when you're trying to move it around in a very dramatic way. So just to let you guys know, the voiceover you hear right now was shot 2 weeks after I shot this video, and within those 2 weeks I have been practicing a lot with the steadicam. And yeah, you can see a dramatic difference of change. Everything just comes secondhand. You know, when you're trying to balance it, you have to think about it too much. Like, you kind of know the adjustments, especially when you're using one camera. and the movement becomes more stable. You know, again, the more practice you put into it, the more secondhand it becomes. So definitely I will put out more videos with this Steadicam. If I can get to use the gimbal, I'll definitely make a comparison video. If you guys are planning to buy this specific gimbal, I will have a link in the description below. So yeah guys, that was my first experience with a Steadicam. Be sure to like the video if you learned something new. If you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.